I would anticipate you're gonna need to get railroad approval to put that guardrail in place,
I would
first
think
of all.
so.
I would think so.
And then second of all, I don't know a lot about trucks, but they're big. The guardrail isn't gonna stop.
Yeah,
Truck.
because it's slow motion, it's just meant to, I mean, in this case, I would say it would.
Okay.
Because if they're coming around and they hit that guardrail, it
Hopefully
may
they'll
them,
stop.
they're probably gonna have no choice.
Okay.
Because most of those trailers would, at minimum, hop up on it and they couldn't go anymore.
You wanna tell your story, Brian, about 6 feet?
There's the one at Dairy Queen, there's that cement block. The truck turned that corner too short and the cement block, they drug it all the way from Dairy Queen under the trailer clear guard a lot.
Are you kidding
Guess it didn't get his attention.
me? Yeah, but that is a movable object. I mean, anyway, I just think it's, maybe we should be proactive and show the
It broke
road.
the airline Charles trailer too, so you can drag it like this.
I'm sure it broke some wheels. Sorry, Jason, I interrupted.
No, that's fine, that's all I have.
If eliminating that turning lane would solve some of the issue, then that seems like an easy fix.
I'm just wondering if the railroad would see that and maybe expedite, say, okay, they're taking it serious. I don't know.
That could happen.
There's more damage there than it looks like, if you look at it.
Yeah, it got bent up pretty good. It got bent up pretty good.
Yeah.
That's all you had?
Yep.
Okay, Jacob.
Just a reminder that the budget committee meetings start today, and then are for the next couple of weeks.
Fun times.
Yep, good times.
Are we having any, I got the schedule, but that is, do we have a workshop after our next, or 2 weeks? Or a month?
I have it scheduled.
Because are we gonna do like we normally do?
February 7th.
It's February 7th is what I have it scheduled for.
Okay, after a council meeting?
After the council meeting.
Okay. I figured it'd be about the same.
That is in Florida, right?
That's where I was gonna.
That's where Mike is gonna be.
We'll have room.
Oh, too bad.
On the beach.
He said he's buying the tickets.
Yeah,
We'll
South
have room.
Russell's got a sale.
You gotta get to the room.
Not telling you where it is. Okay. Mark Sturgeon, anything?
A couple of things. I'd like to, I'm not pointing fingers, but I want to in the future make sure we review those codifications as they come back so we don't have a scenario like we did with the sidewalk ordinance. I think we maybe had to spend money to publish that. It's just, it's a little inconvenient, but I just stay on top of it.
I believe we did, right?
It's very simple.
And then when it went to print, they just neglected to put
They
it.
neglected it.
Correct.
It's
We all
totally,
reviewed
it's
them.
totally on them.
Then I call that back and apologize. I was just.
Yeah, and that's 100% accurate, Mike. I mean, we never changed it, and it was just
Okay.
printed incorrectly on their end.
Yeah, so never mind.
I know you don't want me proofing anything. No, my wife, you're gonna have every dot and I.
I would volunteer to prove it. You know I would.
You know, the thing is Jason and I proofed everything we sent them. And we proofed everything they sent back to us, but when we got the final, yeah, it was wrong.
Yeah, there you go.
One other thing, I had someone bring up the nostalgia for the free movies that used to happen during the holidays. Because if there's any way we could make that happen next year during the holidays, I think that's something we should get back to. It's kind of a fun thing for the kids. They used to, every weekend on a Saturday, there'd be a movie. So, that's all.
I think the chamber
There was some service clubs that used to do that too.
yeah.
Is Kiwanis joined up with, yeah,
And I don't know.
Sir Tomo was around.
I remember going to them as a kid.
Yeah.
If any of those clubs want to reach out to me, I can help them. We'll try to coordinate. I just think it'd be something fun.
And is that something we would have to work out with our contract with some of the theaters or whatever? Yeah, okay.
That's all. That's all I have.
All right. Nothing? Nothing, Steve? I don't really have anything.
Just came up today, I don't like waiving, just so you guys know, so I won't go through it every time. I don't like waiving stuff if the public has, some of it is a little bit moot, and if they get a full 2 weeks to review something, I don't mind waiving third readings. I hesitate to waive second readings generally, just so you know. I'm not trying to be, but I just wanna give people that opportunity to not say, I didn't know about it. So that's the only reason I do that, so, nothing else.
Brian?
Nothing today.
Mike? Okay. Annual report on the code and building department, do you need to discuss this at all?
Finance director, yeah, finance director at all.
He said, yeah.
All right, good afternoon, Mayor, Council, City staff. It's Greg Smith, Lamar's Code Enforcement Building Department. It's my pleasure to be here to give my annual report, which will be my last one. So next year at this time, you'll have somebody new standing up here. So it's a pretty brief report, kind of like in previous years, focusing primarily on the building aspects of things within the city. On page one, not the cover page, the first one showing a couple of charts where you're seeing this year's year-to-date and the 2021 year-to-date. You know, the largest thing you'll notice is new home construction was down significantly this year as compared to previous years, which I'll address in a little bit. Revenue costs were somewhat down in that area also, but we did pick up a little bit, or lost a little bit also in the remodel aspect of things. So the whole single-family dwelling thing really took a major hit this year. However, construction costs weren't down but about $1 million, even though we had about half. It's just the construction costs are so high this year. If you look at the bottom line, you know, those are the biggest numbers to look at. Revenue fees brought in this year was $140,000 as compared to $92,000 last year, which is what, about $48,000 difference. The biggest areas in both the construction fees this year of $51 million as compared to $20 million last year. The biggest factors that are reflecting this are the Loves project, which was a $10 million project, American Bank project, which is also about a $10 million project. The hospital's got a major project going on right now. So those are reflective here as to why we're seeing such increased revenue costs increase and our construction costs, primarily because of those three projects. I anticipate next year is going to be more of a generic year as compared to the year previous. We're going to see a more stable environment with new construction. The next page just gives a different graph pertaining strictly to residential fees. This year, the fees were at $32,700, and construction valuations were at $6,682,000 as compared to the previous year, which we had a slight uptick, the previous year, but again, single-family homes were down, not quite half, but close. The commercial fees this year at $91 million, which is a huge uptick as compared to the previous year of only $91,000 as compared to 26 the previous year. That's a $70,000 increase, not quite 65. 22 construction valuation for commercial projects at $41 million as compared to $6 million the previous year. The next page shows a side-by-side comparison of single-family homes and commercial projects for the past 10 years with a couple of different graphs on there, making it a little bit easier to follow and read, I guess, more than anything. And then the last page is my urban revitalization tax exempt applications that were turned in and reviewed and approved by the council and forwarded to the assessor's office. We're seeing our best year at 38, some of which obviously were some of last year's projects that were started in 2021, but the tax exemption forms were turned in 2022. So there's a little bit of overlapping in years, and that's pretty typical most any year. So, but you know, for the total, since we started this at 302 tax exemptions in both the commercial and residential projects is pretty significant. So we're doing really good. Just my predictions for the next year, I think we're gonna see single-family homes, and this is based not only on some of the local data that I've been able to obtain, but also national data, and kind of what the trend is. I think we'll see single-family homes next year comparable to what we've seen this year. I don't know that we're gonna see the mid-20s anytime real soon. Higher interest rates, we're over 6% right now on fixed rate 30 years. I think we're gonna see closer to 7, possibly even 8. 8 might be a stretch, but I think we'll see 7 or in excess of 7 in the coming years. I don't know of any huge projects as we had this year. You know, like I said, Wells was just an absolutely huge project, and American Bank is a huge project, and the bank, or Floyd Valley Clinics is a huge project. I haven't heard any projects of that nature for the coming year, but who knows? Things could change. So, that's, a little bit on the code enforcement aspect of things. Grass abatements are way down from previous years. Last year they were way down, or 2021 they were way down. Snow removal for this season that we are currently in, I haven't sent out any official abatement notices. However, I have sent out about 55 courtesy notices. Courtesy notices are not a legal way to follow up on things, but I have been keeping track on them, and of the 55, I believe courtesy notices that I have sent out, I'm guessing I'm getting in excess of 90% compliance. A couple of phone calls to the few that don't, and it's taken care of also. Something that myself and or my office and the street department hit really hard this past year, and that was tree trimming abatements. I have, working in conjunction with the street department, I've sent out well over 200 abatement notices to residents in town to get their trees trimmed up. Again, I received about 90% compliance with a 20% non-compliance where I had to hire a contractor to trim up those trees. And we have been paid back in full, with the exception of one property that I just took up last week to the assessor, or to the treasurer's office. So compliance-wise, we're getting really good, and I know that it is the intent of Scott's department and my department to continue hitting the trees heavily in the coming years, because there are a lot of trees in violation, and we just need to continue on with that program and get the trees up to where they need to be. And once we get through the town, we could probably start over again. But so I'd be more than happy to take any questions from council or staff. All right, thank you.
Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Good report. Okay, it is recommended that the council enter closed session to discuss purchase of real estate or sale of real estate.
Motion to enter closed session under Iowa Code Section 21.51J.
Second.
Where the disclosure of the discussion of the purchase or sale of real estate would be to the disadvantage of the city.
I have a motion and a second still.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
Goodchild,
Yes.
Sturgeon,
Yes.
Bruns,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Wick.
Yes.
Motion carried. We'll move into closed session.